What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another Distant Worlds Dev Diary number 3. I figure I'm just going to cover them all, so we'll just kind of go right through it so I'm up to date on this game. Alright, let me zoom in a little bit because, eyes suck. Alright, procedural renderings in Distant Worlds 2. Hello to all, my name is Elliot Gibbs. I am the developer for Distant Worlds 2. Thank you, Elliot, for doing this. This article has a slightly different focus. It will give you a behind-the-scenes look at a small slice of the game with an important on-screen role, the natural environment of the Distant Worlds galaxy. Ooh. While this article is more technical, it will help you see the under the hood. It will give you insight into how we solve some of the most unique problems facing the game as vast as Distant World 2. All right, procedural rendering versus handmade art. What is procedural rendering? This refers to drawing various parts of the game without using handmade art assets. In other words, an item is rendered on screen without using any artist created models or images. Instead, the item is drawn using only software instructions. The item is rendered in code. That might not sound very useful. Why would you bother writing a lot of software to draw something instead of code? Instead of just having an artist make a 3D model or draw a 2D image. That depends on what you are drawing and the number of different items that need to be drawn. Love these. Oh man, this is gorgeous. The old way, the galactic environment in DW1. As you probably appreciate, in Distant Worlds, there is a vast galactic environment filled with many items to explore and discover: stars, planets, moons, black holes, nebula clouds, and many others. In Distant Worlds 1, Universe, and earlier, these items were mostly hand-drawn 2D images. There were a set of images for desert planets, another set of images for ocean planets, a set of images for nebula clouds, etc. Total, there were about 250 images for planets alone. Jeez, that's a lot. So there was a lot of hand-drawn art. So, wow, that is a lot. 250 images of this. Can you imagine? I would at one point be like, don't they all look the same? I mean, they don't, but the advantage with static hand-drawn art is that you can have very specific details in the art. For example, you can have an image of the planet Earth in the game, complete with the continents, islands, and the oceans we know so well. However, there are some big drawbacks with static art. 2D images and texture models have a resolution limit that is constrained by memory. Thus, when zoomed in, their appearance can become blurry or pixelated. Yeah, you can see it a little bit in this. You typically need to draw each image or texture by hand, limit how many variations you can realistically have. Although tools can help automate the generation of some images, you still have to store them and load them in the game, which can take a lot of memory and storage. Procedural rendering is an alternative to making a lot of hand-drawn art. It means writing software that knows how to draw a particular item. We can then draw as many variations of this item as needed, tweaking parameters to make changes to its appearance to get something as gorgeous as that. Wow. The new, better way in DW2. In Distant Worlds 2, nearly all of the galactic environment is procedurally rendered. I'm assuming probably Earth is probably still, done by hand. That means that we use minimal handmade art to draw the stars, planets, moons, black holes, or nebula clouds in the game. Instead, there are a set of custom shader programs that know how to draw each of the items. A star shader that can draw brightly glowing coronas or of semi-transparent gas and plasma. Several shaders that draw planets with solid surfaces, some with a lot of mountains, others with deep oceans, others with glowing lava lakes. A shader that draws planets with gaseous surfaces with colored bands and swirling storms. Another shader draws black holes. Other shaders draw nebula clouds. Wow, this is what you get. Wow. It's gorgeous. Whatever the computer made here is gorgeous. Wow. You got like asteroids. I'm assuming these are asteroids, or maybe small, minor, mini moons kind of thing. How does it work? At the core of these shaders is a concept called fractal noise. Fractal noise refers to a set of special random values that are tuned for drawing a natural environment in a realistic manner. Fractal noise is a huge subject, which I won't go into detail about here, but if you want to learn more, you should look it up. You'll see terms like Perlin noise and simplex noise, which are good starting points. But how do these procedural shaders work? What process do they follow, and what do they allow us to do? Firstly, they use fractal noise to make a unique height map for each planet, allowing us to generate mountains, valleys, plains, coastlines, and sub-oceanic terrain. Apply shadowing from sunlight on the mountains and hills to provide subtle realism to the terrain. Oh, wow. If the planet is populated, add city night lights that follow the natural geography of the planet, preferring low-lying and coastal areas. Oh, that is cool, including underwater cities and shallow coastal regions. I like what I'm reading. Provides light-emitting features like lava lakes and oceans. Add cloud layers with animated storms and shadows on the planet below. Allows latitude-specific features, polar ice caps, equatorial jungle belts, deserts. Allows specific terrain, snowy mountaintops, frosted valleys, glassy plains, and coastal areas. Shallow underwater continental shelves. Jeez, man. This thing is freaking... I wonder how long they worked on this, and this is what the result is. I mean, it looks good. I really like that they, added these like nightlight kind of things. I noticed that when I first saw the screenshots and stuff, I was like, oh, that's nice. Thus, procedural shaders provide a vast improvement when rendering the natural environment in distant worlds, giving us an incredible level of detail and variety. The advantage of procedural rendering directly address the weaknesses of static art that we had in DW1. Because the shader programs operate on each pixel on the screen, there's no resolution limit. Oh, wow. Okay, you can keep zooming in closely to an item without blurriness or loss of quality. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. So, literally, you can just keep zooming in. I mean, if you can go further zooming in on this, you don't lose any quality. It just gets better and better. Wow. By varying the input parameters for each shader, you can obtain nearly infinite variety for an item. Thus, every planet in DW2 is unique, and that's what I love about procedural rendering. Every planet's unique. You're not going to say, go to the top right of the screen and see a planet there that is exactly like the planet in the far left middle of the screen, You're never going to run into that, which is awesome. Because no static images or textures are needed, there is a dramatic reduction in memory and storage requirements. That's awesome. So the loading time is going to be quick. I love this right here. Look, like it. So you could clearly see the line, right, where the sun breaks, right? And what I love about it is so this is I would say sunset, right? But you still have, and it's dim. You could still see some, right? Very dim, and the closer you go to this side, the more contrast it gets. I love that they included that. This takes special work. They could have just said, all right, right at the line, turn on the lights. So it would have been right here with the lights would start and nothing would be on this side. But they actually took their time and coded it so that when it's sunset, you could still see some of the lights coming on, which is really cool. A living animated galaxy. Procedural rendering also enables another feature, animation. The fractal noise used in the shaders can be multi-dimensional, so you can use one of the dimensions to represent change over time. This allows you to smoothly animate things that you draw. For example, we have the following in Distant Worlds 2. Cloud layers on planets that move and change. Love that. Star coronas with prominences that rise and fall. Gas giant planets with animated cloud surfaces, nebula clouds that smoothly change over time, black holes with swirling vortexes of light and energy. Wow. I'm just kind of struck by this because, a lot of games that I played, like 4X games, you just see the basic animation. That never changes. That's just the same animation. If it's a planet or whatever, it just keeps going in the same direction, and it's just static in essence. Being constantly, seeing cloud layer is never going to be the same. You can go to same planet multiple times, and everything will be different pretty much each time. Thus, procedural rendering helps to bring the galaxy of distant worlds to life with motion and activity, even in a natural environment. It gives infinite variety and depth of appearance to all planets and stars. Modding. You might be thinking, how does this affect modding? Can you easily mod new planets and star types into DW2, or does this require special coding or shader skills? The good news is that modders also have access to these same shaders to make their unique planets and stars. No special skills are required. By simply adding a few values to a file, you can have a completely new type of planet available in the game. Your planet will have all the same features as the built-in planet types, hyper-detailed height maps with shadowing, animated cloud layers, city night lights when populated, planetary rings, etc. Summary. So how does procedural rendering improve the galactic environment in Distant Worlds 2? Well, provides infinite variety. No two planets in the galaxy are the same. They all have their own unique geographical features and coastlines. It eliminates blurriness and pixelation. Everything remains sharp and clear even when zoomed in close. Allows animation features like star coronas, planetary clouds, nebula clouds. Uses a lot less memory, thus freeing up resources for other rendering. It's gonna be really good for people who have less, not a lot of RAM or not a lot of video RAM. I hope you enjoyed this enjoyed this look at the galactic environment in Distant Worlds. I'll be back later with more behind-the-scenes information about other features in Distant Worlds 2. Man. Oof. I'll tell you guys, this game just gets better and better. Love it. Besides, all the benefits that he just went over, I think like my favorite would be how do you call it? A lot less memory. I think that is probably going to be, for me, the biggest pro. And the reason why I would say that is because, there's a lot of people that, don't want to spend $1,000 on a graphics card. Mind you, right now, even getting like a low tier, barely a mid-tier graphics card costs like $1,000. It's ridiculous. A graphics card I bought in, I don't know, was it 2018 or 2019, something like that. When I bought it was like 300 and change, something like that. Now the same graphics card is like 700, 800, 900 last time I checked, which is ridiculous. Same graphics card. Because of all the chip shortage and stuff like that. So this is going to come in extremely handy for us because we just can't really get our hands on chips as we used to because of this chip shortage. So this is going to come in extremely handy. I think I have 4 gigs of video RAM, and then about 24 gigs of just regular computer RAM. So this is going to come in extremely handy for me. I'm going to appreciate that a lot. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I will catch you guys in the next one. See you.